So recently Mum and I watched Diana the Musical on Netflix, and we may not have enjoyed it to the extent of In the Heights or Phantom, but we did enjoy some of it. First, I'd like to say that I enjoyed the musical. It had a certain charm to it. Maybe it was the lighting, maybe it was the costumes, but I found it charming to watch. The attention to the timeline of Princess Diana and her meeting of Charles to her death was quite good, and it was helped by my mum, self-proclaimed fan of Diana, telling me the inconsistencies between the musical and real life. Let me go back a step. What is Diana the Musical about? Well, it highlights important events in Princess Diana's life, from her meeting Prince Charles through to her marriage and children, and finally ending with her death in a car accident. I was not around to be part of the entire world's love for Diana, but my mum was, and she enjoys telling me about it. The music of the musical was, well, let's not say it was terrible, but there was a definite influence to other rock musicals of the 80s. I could hear hints of Chess, Jesus Christ Superstar, and Rent in the musical, and it seemed almost shameless that the composers had definitely found an influence from those. I could hear tunes from those musicals in the musical, which I don't think is legal, but I'm not sure. The costumes of the musical were probably my favourite part. I loved the attention to detail in the outfits, making sure each one looked like the same clothes that Diana once wore. I'm still fascinated by one scene, the wedding, when Diana is in her underthings singing, and there's a mannequin wearing the wedding dress in the background. As the song progresses, Diana walks behind the mannequin, and when Charles lifts the veil of the dress, she's standing there in the dress. Seamless transition, and I still don't know how she got into that dress. The actors in acting were not the greatest, I will admit. Some of the actors, I'm certain, were just cast because they reached the range needed. I'm not going to name names. They didn't really look like the people they were supposed to represent, and honestly, they weren't really acting right either. I'm not going to talk about that weird rock scene with the "This Is How Your People Dance" song. I didn't like it. That's all I'll say. Oh, but the double-sided cello? That is a redeeming factor. I liked the lighting at the end of the musical, when we get a succinct insight into Diana's death. The lights flashed, and I feel that maybe that's the last thing Diana really saw before she passed. Slowly the stage lights went out, and I actually felt like crying when the last light went out. So good job there. It reminds me of in Les Miserables, when Fantine passes and the light goes dark where she's standing. Same with when Javert passes in the same musical and the light turns blue and then just turns off so you can't see him on the stage anymore. It's a really good lighting detail, and I wish I knew more about lighting to tell you about it. Overall, my opinion of the musical is neutral, slightly critical in some areas, but I wouldn't be opposed to adding it to my collection of musicals. I mean, I want to add Rocket Man to my collection, despite my family not liking it, so I will add Diana in, because it's a good one to make you laugh. If you feel in a bad mood, you just watch it and you laugh. I liked the costumes and lighting, and I felt maybe it would be better to see with an audience, because then we'd have audience reactions. I don't know. It was a good crash course into Princess Diana, with influences from 80s musicals and attention to costume. Other than that, it sits in the musical category that I personally refer to as meh, it's alright. I've seen people saying that musicals should stay in theatres after this one came out. To that I say, please don't be so classist. Some people can't afford to go and see a musical in theatres, and pro shots or movie adaptations are their only access to the musical fandom. Don't exclude people just because you didn't like one professionally shot musical. I personally got to see my very first musical in theatres earlier this year. We can't exactly afford to go and see every musical that comes out in theatres, nor can we afford to go to Broadway to see them on opening night or anything. If you say that professional shots and movie adaptations shouldn't exist, then you are excluding a huge part of the musical fandom that cannot afford to go to theatres and watch these musicals. It's just a thing. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I enjoy providing whatever content, and I'll be seeing you in my next video.